All right, Brandon Therapeutic Fragrance, last video of the year. Want to get this one up, War and Peace. It's available. That's why I'm doing it. It's the final one from the collection. I've kind of made a decision. I'm going to get all the Riche. It's everybody knows it's my favorite house. You tell from the channel. I've covered most of everything I have, got my hands on. So I just want to get this final one on the collection. I'm going to be honest with you. I have struggled with this review more than any other review I've done, more than any other sample I've had. My rule of wearing it 5 times, I've worn this over 10 times, and just can't really get my head around final thoughts. I think I'm there. I feel comfortable with where I'm at and can cover it now. And I guess that's a good thing when a perfume does that. It's so loved by so many. Not everybody, because I've shared private thoughts, but yeah, it's a yin and yang for me. That's the name, War and Peace, and it has been. It's been a hard perfume to get my head around, and I'm still struggling. Anyways, stay tuned for this review, and I'll go through it and digest it to my best of my ability. I'm gonna put the score out there and let it live, let it be what it is. Stay tuned. So many unboxings. Been a while since I've done this, so I have my format, won't stick to it, but the unboxings are easy. I just talk, but yeah, let's get into this. 30 ml, $220 US dollars, can be had around the world. It's not on their Riche website. I don't know if you, I haven't looked into ordering it. I'm not going to get a full bottle of this. I might decant it sometime if I run out of this. But Lucky Scent has it. A new US distributor has it. Follow him on Instagram, and he updates all of that. He's opened some of that up. I would put this at a 75 masculine, 25 feminine. Russian Adams, the perfumer, or Riche adores the house. Notes include a 35 million old amber resin. We can debate that all day long, but hey, let's go with it. I own something that's 35 million years old. Sweet. Heart notes: Root Galoob 2019, Typh Rose, Indian Patchouli, Orris Root Absolute, Base Co Absolute, Deer Musk, Ambergris, Castorium, made by Russian Adam, Indian Oak Moss, Indian Vetiver, synthetic civet, and amber resin oil. Kudos to Russian Adam for putting out the civet is synthetic. He's been very transparent in this whole thing. I appreciate it so much. So that's how much I have left. I've worn it over 10 times. I've been so careful with the sprays. I spray it twice on my last 4 wearing, spray it twice, spray it on the wrist. Right now, just as I finalized the video, wanted to put it on one last time. I did put a 7 spray wearing on once. And I've done a couple 3 spray wearings. The rest have just been 2 sprays, and just smelling the wrist changing all day. I've had it on my neck with 7 and 3 sprays each time. But just like I said, it doesn't know justice to wear this thing once at all. Color of the juice, try to get that there and hold that there. It's an atomizer bottle, superb samples. And you really, with this kind of perfume, this heavy naturals, these heavy just distilled oils, you really need an atomizer to put it on so it just sprays on. And that's what it was meant to do with the alcohol dissipation when you do it. The dabbing just does it no justice. I know Lucky Scent, if I would have got samples from them, would have done the dabbers, but just, you got to have atomizers. For this kind of thing, they're cheap on Amazon. I bought like a 100-pack, and I'll pour the Lucky Scent ones in there for these heavy ones just to, it doesn't do justice, I found, to dab these rich distilled oils. Your linear fragrances you can get away with more, but I found with these heavy fragrances, you need an atomizer. This one would have been easy for me. My first opinions, it's one of those you spray on. What I mean by easy for everyone is it's one of those that can instantly turn you off or on. It's got that heavy, powdery, a little bit lipsticky Orris in there, and so many people turn off by that. And it's got all these heavy darknesses in there. It's got so much that it really deserves a couple wearings, a couple samples before you form your opinion on it. And that's what I did. When we get to score it, I'll explain better. I mean, I have been all over the place on this, and hopefully I do it justice explaining what I mean by that in this review. On the top, I mean, if you stay and let this thing breathe, it pays back in dividends like a whole gushing heart of hope. It's packed with so many nuances in the fume that in 10 wearings, I feel like I still have parts of this to figure out. He's really only using a few ingredients in this, but they're all powerful ingredients mixed together. Just some of your top-notch base layers combined together and in one perfume, that each one of these have nuances. And when you put them together and combine each of those nuances, so much going on. I mean, I really wish I could have got this review back before everything bought. It was written up. It took time. And that's why I say you have to wear this stuff. That's my rule, especially if it was at a high score. If I'm going to do that, I got to have 5 wearings. This is case in point why I do. And so many wearings to go through this. It gives perfume no justice. It just transitions in so many environments throughout the day on skin that you just need to be very, very familiar with. And this is one that I think I have a grasp on it, but could change, especially these age so well. The perfume's going to change. So, I mean, that's why I'm saving that much. I'm going to test it maybe in a year, maybe a spray in a year, maybe a few years, because I'm really studying aging. But also, if I ever do buy a bottle, I have a reference point to what it was, as he's already changed the formation. Yeah, let's put that out there. War and Peace 2, he did change and modify some things that I've already written down concerns about, so that's good. This is War and Peace version 1 that I'm grading, so the one that's available has been modified. Keep that in mind. Let's get into the review. I can smell the Ariege signature DNA in this perfume. Right from the get-go, right when I sprayed on, Russian Adams getting a signature scent. There's just a lot more darkness going on in this one. It just includes a lot of wearable and addictive animalics. Dark of the ocean, dark of the forest, dark of animals, like the civet and beaver. Musk and ambergris work some magic here in the perfume. It's adding so much equanimity to the vetiver. When you spray this on, it truly has a medicinal effect right from the get-go. The very top of the perfume is the absolute best for me. It is the perfume at its best. Most people that buy this and love this won't be buying it for the top of that. They want this top to go away quick to get that just dirty, raw animalic as quick as possible. Part 2, he did say he made some Oris changes, so it might take that top away, my favorite part, which would be a shame. I love, and I've learned this, talked about it many times with Oris-based perfumes, what Oris does against dark stuff. It's like Rose, what Rose does with oud, but what Oris can do with these castoriums and civets and musks just tames them down. And this top just shows the beauty of that powdery Oris against just mean, dark base oils. My favorite part, just a mixture of fume of love. Unfortunately, it's like 15 minutes it lasts before the darkness and animalic of pissiness seeps in, which is very normal. Loved animalic scent. Pissy might not be the right term, but it's kind of the fume I get right away. It's in a lot of stuff, most likely from that civet note. But yeah, that comes in, and then the Oris really never has a chance. It's the first time I've ever seen all these base layers that are in there just come in like a tidal wave, just sink the Oris for me very fast after the first animal comes in. I love it. And the nuances of darkness just keep coming in. Like I said, I mean, it's loaded with the most animalic bases in perfumery, natural perfumery. Civet, oak moss, vetiver. The civet is synthetic. Castoreum and an animalic patchouli, if you will. Not that sharp, earthy, but just, it's Indonesian, I believe. We read in the notes, but I'm not getting the sharp earthiness off of it. I don't know if it's the mixture, but it comes in as an animalic earthy, if you will. A true leather comes through in the heart like a leather jacket, your normal brown leather jacket, probably from the Castoreum. Again, Rose never came out on its own. In my opinion, this thing could use a lot more florals here in the heart and base. There is a slight resonance of Malik Al-Taif. There, like a slight feel of that rose. I mean, in Malik Al-Taif, it's strong, potent, but very soft here. I recognize that thumbprint. in this. We're starting to see Russian Adam and his work come all together here in this base and what he's working with, these dark elements. But as the heart transitions into the base, I think the idea, especially in War and Peace, gets lost for me. I'm going to try to do this justice in explaining it. I feel like all these strong, and these are some of my favorite oils. Don't get me wrong. I could spray this on. I put these oils on separately all the time. And sometimes when I'm mixing and layering, I get these effects. So that's where I'm coming from when I talk about this right now. It's like these oils are sitting there almost like narcissistic. Each of the oils are narcissistic in their own right and just saying, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Instead of playing together, forming an accord, a sweet fume, and complementing each other, they're just like separating and shouting over each other, just really saying, look at me. Every whiff is like, oh, there's the Castoria. Oh, there's that Civet, especially that Civet. That Civet is just tangy to me throughout it and just shouting throughout it and really never ties in to the whole fume for me, the whole accord for me, the whole base for me. The patchouli never comes out on its own, but it just never mixes like a patchouli does. And just, it's like it's fighting with all these. Yeah, when it gets down to the base. Again, the top and heart, beautiful, but then what I'm left with I'm talking 8 hours here is just this fighting. And why I've worn this so much is and I love all of them. It really doesn't bother me, but I wear perfume for the accord. I wear perfume for that fume, especially Russian Oud, Russian Musk, all of these Ottoman Empire formed this royal scent where all the ingredients just play and work together. And I'm not getting it in War and Peace. It literally is a war. The war name makes a lot of sense. The peace name makes a lot of sense. The naming's perfect on top. But I'm not taking, I see a lot of guys loving this to death and wearing this to death because they just love that stink, that funk, that just mean stuff. But it maybe part two refined what I'm talking about. I have to sample it, but it just doesn't twist together and form that accord that I want, that I become known for reach. That is my problem, and I think that's why I can't get used to it. I know this, everybody wants a hooray review, especially on love fragrances, but I have to share my opinion, and that's why I chose to put this up here. And it is my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you don't agree, that's fine. But I on the house as a whole, as I cover it, I don't want to feel intimidated for not sharing it, but that's just where this is. This was so well accepted that it's a big reason why I've held off on doing it, but it doesn't do justice to this channel. It doesn't do justice to my reviewing. And that's not that I hate it. I get why people love it. I get why I've loved it sometimes, but when it fights with me all day like this, it's just, I have other options. I have other things that I'll do. And I just think that needs refined and toned, especially with its beautiful ingredients. My opinion. No offense to the perfumer. I mean, go to my other reviews, and I've over-cooted this guy more than anybody in my Instagram account. But here, I just have to critique it like this. Sorry I'm being so careful. It's the first time I've heavily critiqued. Well, I did Oud Luwak, caught some slack for that. But channel's a lot bigger now, and a lot of reach people follow me. And I think that's why I'm over-explaining here. But that's where I'm at with this base. I fought too much with it. And that's what it's doing on my skin. I think it just needs a little tweaking and something to tie in. I don't know if Oud would do it. I'm not a perfumer. I haven't created a perfume. I've smelled tons, over 1,000 perfumes now, written up, well over 200 reviews now. And that's where I'm coming from. That's where my journey and knowledge are coming from. The final dry down gets more fecal and animalics, which I'm not turned off against. But same thing. The whole rest of the wearing, after about 2.5 hours, the heart it transitions into this fight of all these beautiful base layers for me on my skin. I mean, even now, I'm just, who wants to smell it? It's just like they're punching me instead of coming together, creating a beautiful fume. You guys that own this, I have great news. I own other perfumes. I talked about 6s and 7s by Slumber House that I've bought like this. And even today's smell, it's starting to get more refined a couple months later. But every material in here, minus the civet, is going to age beautifully. This thing literally might be one of the most treasured perfumes in a year to 3 years. I'm studying aging right now with most of my naturals. And I did it with cigars. I have some cigars. I have some cigars that are 40 years old. But I started in like heavily in '07. And I take notes and do this with cigars. I'm doing it with perfumes now. And slowly just seeing how things change. Naturals, synthetics, they're made not to change. They're made for shelf life, not to change, just cheap chemicals. But these naturals that are in this are beautiful. They will change. They only get better. Every ingredient in here only gets better. And same with Antiquity that came out. My goodness, that stuff's good. So that, keep that in mind, you guys that have the bottle. And I mean, if it does, I'll be reporting on the sample, be the first one to report on it. But in the review, that's where I'm at with everything. Scoring on War and Peace, A Riche L'Adore. Okay, don't. I have to be honest. Put this up here. I did break a 90 at first. I'll be fully honest, and that's because it was mixing or something, and I just had to keep wearing it. It's scored as low 70s. Also, I mean, I have literally every time I do this, except for like the last like 3, I've really come down to. But I mean, my first 5, I didn't know what to do, and that's why I launched all those reviews right away. I wanted this right away, but I just couldn't do it justice, so I kept wearing it, and wanted a week away from it before I come back, kind of thing. That's just where I was at. So I'm gonna put the scores in the middle, and I'm fine with that because if it's going back and forth like that, I think that's what it deserves. So you guys that love my scores, big prefix to the score. That's why. Let's get into this. So experience, because I'm all over the place, and I actually put so much time into this, and it's took so much concentration. I give it 13 out of 15. Branding, originality, 5 out of 5. It matches War and Peace to a T. His bottle's just out of this world. Projection, sillage, 4 out of 5. Longevity, 5 out of 5. Composition as a whole, 16 out of 20. Ingredients and price to ml, 20 out of 25. Top gets a 9 out of 10. 3 out of 5 for the heart, and I'm going to put 6 out of 10 for the base. Total score of 81. War and Peace, A Riche L'Adore. I have a who, what, why, when, where on this one. Where I wear this one out, this is colder, dressed up events. When you want to smell unique, when you want that dark, Batman smell. I don't know, I should have put the who as Batman. I mean, this is a Batman kind of mysterious man. It's got all those power players in there. Fragrance. Wind, definitely colder weather. With that civet note, I would not be wearing this in warmer weather off my skin. That civet doesn't play well when it's warmer on my skin. For the who, I did put Leo Tolstoy, War and Peace. Come on. That'll teed it up for me there. How many sprays? 1 to 5 for me. I would never spray more than 5 on this. That 7 was too much for me the day I did that. All right, everyone. Don't shoot the messenger. War and Peace, A Riche L'Adore. I have to give my take, my honest opinion. So it is what it is. And I got some other ones that are, I haven't even reviewed my favorites yet. Anyways, Happy New Year. Last video of 2019. Be blessed, you all. Enjoy the new year.